Please welcome from Legacy Consultants Group, Kyle Sanders.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. As Misty said, and thank you for that introduction. Really appreciate it. Glad to move the chairs. I was convinced I was going to fall over those pretty quickly on, so thank you for that. My name's Kyle Sanders with Legacy Consultants Group, and I'm going to be sharing with you my presentation called Cultivating Wow through 360 Degrees of Love. Now, 360 degrees is a circle, of course, right? Making sure everybody had enough coffee to know that. And it's our focus at Legacy Consultants Group to truly surround our client families with love, And there's a reason we do this. There's a very significant reason that we do this, is that the reason you get hired will always be the reason that you get fired. If you get yourself hired on rate of return or price or product, just get very ready to be dismissed from the table by that client for the exact same reason. And at our firm, it is our intention to be hired for relationship first, last, and always. And we share with that client, with that family who's honored us by bringing us onto their team in the very beginning, is that we want to build a relationship with you that's so significant, so profound, that you can't imagine us not in your life. Which certainly sets the bar pretty high, and we're always excited to try to meet it. Now, cultivating wow is a mindset more than it's a skill set. And it is our highest mission to anticipate and deliver the unexpected wishes and desires of our clients. That's where wow happens. That's where it happens. Not when they tell you to do something, you do it, but when you anticipate it and you deliver it in a way that's meaningful and significant. That's where it occurs. All right? And we try to build relationships that are profound and substantial, that they become multi-generational. Now, at a very cursory level, at a very surface level, your clients expect you to know the answers to the questions they ask. Right? That's kind of just, they're a little happy, right? But when you're trying to cultivate a relationship with wow, that's where you show up and you help your clients ask the questions they don't even know they should be asking. They don't know what they should ask. And you guide them, and then you celebrate them, and you support them, and you encourage them, and you empathize with them, and you sympathize with them. That's not just building relationships. That's cultivating wow. And I'm going to share with you today 3 tranches that we utilize to cultivate wow with our relationships. In no particular order, there are social media strategy, there are client experience events, and it's what we call cultivating wow. And with my time that they've blessed me, and I'm humbled to be here, really am, on the stage in front of all of you, I hope to share a couple ideas you could take back and you can implement into your practices. But if I'm really impactful, I'll begin to change the way you feel about the work that you do. So let's talk about differentiating yourself if we can for a moment. We are in an industry that has become completely commoditized. The gentleman just talked about robo-advisors up here, right? I mean, we're all selling virtually the same products, the same stuff, different labels, right? And so I'm going to take you to a really kind of one of those places we all loved as kids, if you will. I'm just going to, if you'll join me to, we call them Chuck E. Cheese's in Indianapolis. I'm going to ask you to picture, if you will, one of those big pits. Those big pits, the mesh sides, and it's filled with nothing but plastic balls. Nothing but plastic balls. You remember that? Now I want you to think about that being nothing but red plastic balls. I want you to think about that. Now in my hand, I have 2 plastic balls. I've got a red one, and I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to throw it into that sea of plastic balls. And I'm going to ask you a very important question. Can you tell the difference? Can you pick up that red plastic ball versus the others? In my other hand, I have a yellow canary ball, and I'm going to toss it in as well. I'm going to ask you the very same question. Can you pick it out? Of course I can, Kyle. It's yellow. The others are red, of course. Well, you see, this little analogy, this little visualization I provided you, the red ball is the advisor, talks about nothing but price, product, and rate of return. That's it. I got a portfolio, and it's unique, or I've got my insurance is cheaper. You show up that stuff, and very soon, not too long after the shininess wears off in the new relationship, You're going to look like just all the other advisors that clients ever met. But when you show up and you talk about nothing but relationship, nothing but their dreams, their vision, their hope, you stand out, and you stand out for a lifetime. So, in my firm, we believe that WOW doesn't start after a client exchanges a check. It doesn't start months and years down the road. It starts from the very first moment they walk in your front door. Very first moment. There's no little bell when you come in. None of that jazz when you walk into my firm. We know you're coming. We know Philip Clark's coming today at 2:30. We're excited to see Phil. It's been a while. He's bringing his wife, Chelsea. We can't wait, right? And so I'm not on the phone at 2:30. Kara, my director of client relationships, isn't on the phone. We're ready to meet him. How you doing, Phil? How you been? Can I get you something to drink? Got a whole menu. And I escort him back to our conference room. His name is on the TV in bright lights. He's the star of the show. I'm not. Got a bowl full of snacks for him in case he came hungry. We have a nice little meeting. We finish that up, and we get up, and I escort him, not to the door, not to the front of my office, but to his car. And we don't shake hands, but more often than not, we hug. Because these people are part of our family, and that's how families say goodbye. Now, an excellent office experience, that's just a little bit of, something we do, but it's certainly not going to cultivate wow, nice moment. One of the other ways that we cultivate wow is through exceptional client service. So you call our office and you get a hold of Carrie, you get a hold of me, and you call, I need to make a beneficiary change, I need to make a distribution, we've moved. And there's a little wow that gets triggered with some of these things. I'll talk to you about that in a minute. And so we have something called our client service matrix. And it's just an Excel spreadsheet, it's nothing big, that we keep track of about how long it takes us to do something, right? Is that service request going to take us a week? Is it going to take us a couple days? Can we get it done by the end of the day? For some things, we have to. And we share that with the client. So Matt Davis calls and he says, we moved. We need to update our address. And so I say to Matt, hey, Matt, there's going to be a couple forms we're going to need you to sign. I'm going to get those populated for you. Do you want that via secure email, or do you want us to mail that to you? And we say, we should be able to have this wrapped up by next Wednesday. Get this all done by next Wednesday. Well, then Kara and I go to work. And our objective at that point is just to do it a little faster than what we said, nothing, just to beat that goal. Well, that doesn't sound like a big deal. And I ask you one important question. When was the last time you worked with a company and they actually did what they said they were going to do? Sadly, in today's world, just doing that alone is going to separate you from your peers, but here's where the wow comes. Is that your client doesn't know if you do it sooner, they don't know that you did it sooner unless you communicate that back to them. We're talking about 360 degrees of wow. We got to talk about 360 degrees of communication. We talk about completing the circle, so we call the client, right? When we get it done early, we say, hey, Matt, I just want to let you know we've got that event, we got that done for you. That's done. We want to let you know that, right? And why is that a wow? Because every day, your clients ask themselves a question. Whether you know this or not, whether you've thought about this or not, they ask this very important question. Can I count on you? Can I count on you? And what you've done with that is you've answered that question. Yes. Yes, you can. Now, the beautiful thing about the relationships that we get to build with these families that just truly have honored us and we're privileged to serve them, is we get to find out some really neat things that are going on in their lives, these special moments. And so we're on the phone. I'm on the phone with Taryn Stone, and we're chatting. She had a question, and she says to me, we're expecting another child. Don't worry, Matt. It wasn't your wife that called. It was Taryn, but And so we get that call, and I go in the smart office and I make a little note after I ask a couple questions. Do you know what you're having? And when do you do? And she's like, oh, we're having, it's in November, and his name's Walker. And I'm like, that's great. That's great. So before I go any further, I want to take a step back and share something that's very important to understand. Delivering wow is a mindset, but it doesn't mean we're not prepared to deliver these opportunities and service experiences to our clients. So everything I'm sharing with you, these onesies, they sit in Kara's office. She pulled them out, she laid them out, took a photograph on her conference table. We're ready to go. When the moment happens, we're prepared for it. Why? Because we're all busy. I'm busy like you, right? And if that wow moment happens and I got to run out to the Target and I got to get the thing and put it in the cart, it's just never going to happen. I'm going to get a phone call, I'm going to get that email, and wow's never going to happen. So wow, right, is mindset plus preparation. So she grabs that little green onesie with the little teeny elephants on it. She grabs out a card and she handwrites a card. So congratulations, Taryn. You know, so excited for you and Luke. She puts that and she drops that in the mail. And Taryn gets home, she's an attorney, she gets home from a long day at the office. And there's our package. And she opens it up. And what do you think she says? Wow. Wow. She picks up her phone and she gives me a call. We have a nice conversation. And in that conversation, what do you think she says? She says to me, Kyle, with the addition of this child, do you think there's anything we need to get together and discuss about our finances or our future or those sorts of things? And I say, of course. Of course. And what a wonderful place to start this conversation. It was her idea, not mine. Right? How's she feeling? How's she feeling right now? Is she feeling served or is she feeling sold? Now, Matt Davis called earlier and he told us about that move. And our systems are in play. That happens. I don't even have to say anything to Kara. She knows this is one of our wow moments. So we've got this neat little relationship with the company called A Taste of Indiana. And so out goes a little gift box, a little, welcome home from us, right? So Matt gets home, long day of work, and there's our box. Now his two kids have kind of ransacked this thing, so anything that was made of chocolates or sweets, that stuff's long gone. But there's some pretzels. And he picks one up and gives me a call. And we have a conversation, right, about the house. And by the way, we normally can predict when this is going to happen because we've already sent 7 onesies to the old address. So we know this one's coming. And so we send that out, and he calls us, and he says, Kyle, thank you. Thank you. Hey, now that we've got this mortgage thing done and the move is over, I forgot to tell you, Laura's not going to work anymore. She's going to take a step out of the workforce. And we've got this new mortgage, and is there anything we need to review? I said, I don't know, Matt. I don't know. Why don't you come in next week? Let's have a conversation, right? What a wonderful place to start that from. Now, that young child, he grows out of that onesie. If you've been to a tailgate recently, they do try to still put him on, though. So, but he's grown out of it, and he's going off to college. She's going off to college. They're on that next journey in life. And obviously, we're in conversation with that parents because we got to think through the financial elements of that. And the son goes, fine. He says, Mom, I'm going to IU. Going to IU, Mom. She's like, that's great. That's great. Good for you. And Mom calls us and she lets us know, and out goes the college care package, the recognition of that moment to that young son, that young daughter, that young soon-to-be student. And it says, hey, congratulations. We're so excited for your bright future. We know that you're going to do wonderful things, and we're incredibly proud of you. And the parents call. They call, and they're like, thank you. Thank you. That was really neat of you. And why is this a special moment? This is a special moment because there's no insurance to be sold. There's no retirement plan to be sold. This is a moment of connecting with them as a family for something that truly, truly, truly matters because it's special. Well, much like you, I get to serve some really wonderful entrepreneurs and executives in our community, right? And we have this little thing called the Indianapolis Business Journal, which, shocker, shares news that's going on in our business community. And so we keep an eye on it. We have a subscription to this. We keep an eye on it when we know, and we'll see, okay, is there anybody we want to connect with? And we team this with our social media strategy. I'll share about in a minute. But one of the things we look for, is there anything going on with our client relationships? Maybe they're not too active on social media, and this is where we'll find the news. And I'll share a neat little story. So one of our clients, a little tech company, not so little, but a little tech company that's gone from 8 employees to 150 in just a few years. Kara, who's tuned in to our client relationships, notices in this journal, and I knew they were thinking about it, and I knew they were working on it, but they confirmed in their Blue Sky Technologies staying in Noblesville, Indiana. She brings this to my attention, and we get nice printed copies of that article, and we frame it up. We put it in little gift bags, and I call Eric and I call Todd. I said, hey guys, I got a little gift for you. And if you want to know a great way to secure a meeting, call them and tell them you have a gift. That's how I got married. I just kept giving her gifts, Works, it works. So they invite me in, and I was like, hey guys, how are you doing? So Todd brings me back, and I give him the gift. And what do you think they said? They open it up, and there's the framed publication, those, one for each of them, right? It's like, wow, thank you. And we have a nice little conversation about the journey of that company, and did you ever think you'd get this far, this fast, and, and we have that. Well, and I've already been blessed to be able to help this company with their business, estate, and succession planning needs. And what do you think came up? All right, it's a true story. What do you think came up? Hey, now that we're growing, and I think our valuations may be a little bit low, and literally, I know we have that term in play for part of this. What's the process look like to convert that? So that's an excellent question, guys. I really came here just to celebrate you. I don't have that details with me, but I'd be happy to come back out and we can have that conversation. And whether it's celebrating a new corporate location or a job promotion or a new job change, when you put the focus on them and you keep it on them, don't you think they'll probably want to engage with you more frequently? Now, we get to celebrate these special milestones, but from time to time, we just got to show up like a friend. My clients, just like yours, they lose loved ones. They get sick. I'm not kidding, their dogs die, and we recognize that. And so we've got a stack of cards at our office where we sat down and we thought, what are all the things that can happen in the course of a life of a person that we care about? So we have sympathy cards and thinking of you cards and get well cards, and we have all these things ready to go. And literally on Sunday, I find out a client of mine for over decades, the wife's mother passed away. She passed away. And we had already sent a thinking of you card to her after she'd had the stroke. And we knew life was going the wrong direction from a health perspective. And so out goes the flowers. Out goes the handwritten card. Out goes the thinking of you. And up goes the wow in the relationship. You see, we do too little of this, in my humble opinion, in today's world, where we don't make those personal connections. We don't make those handwritten connections. We send the email, and then we leave it at that, right? And that handwritten card, right? And for our clients, some of them we know we have a deep, significant faith. We recognize that in that card, a little passage or something of that nature. And at this point, you're showing up as a friend. The beautiful benefit of this sort of philosophy, this sort of mindset, is that you're going to get unsolicited recommendations and introductions. They're going to just happen organically, okay? And we fundamentally believe that you have to say thank you for that. And so if you're not picking up on the theme, we've got a really good relationship with our clients would do a terrible job on the Vitality program because we're dumping candy and sweets and carbs. It's not good. Maybe get some fruit in there or something. I don't know, got to look into that. But no, so it's a little basket. And in this basket is a handwritten card. And this was what it says. Taryn, thank you so much for introducing your mom and dad to us. We know that they are obviously a very significant relationship in your life. And we're truly grateful and appreciative of this introduction. Please feel confident knowing that they will experience the same level of service that you've grown to love and enjoy from us. And out it goes. And I've done something very important here. Very important for them is that I have reaffirmed the reason they did what they just did. And we send this out not after the person becomes a client, okay, but the minute that person who is introduced to us sets a meeting. Why? Because all your clients can do is influence the likelihood that somebody will meet for you. That's all they can do. I can't expect them to make that person financially qualified. I certainly can't expect them to make that person become a client, right? And we've got to recognize that, right? Because remember, right? People leave people, not companies. And we're trying to put ourselves in a place, right? Their clients truly can't imagine us not in their lives. Now, we utilize Smart Office very effectively through all this. And I'm going to tell you 2 reasons real quickly why we do it. First and foremost, when Dale DeHaven turns 60, and you recognize his birthday in grand fashion, and his wife Deborah turns 60, and you show up with crickets, yeah, Glad to see there's more women here. They're getting it. Yeah, I mean, you might as well just drive to your local Edward Jones office and help him fill out the transfer of asset form, because you are getting fired, folks. That's not showing up with wow, that's showing up with meh, all right? I mean, just forget it. So we got to keep track of this stuff because you got to stay consistent, all right? Secondly, is that we know there's certain things that are going to happen every single year, right? You know, we can guess 18 years after that kid's born, he's probably potentially going off to college, all right? And we know when our clients are turning 60 and 65, and they have a big anniversary coming up, WOW can be organized, and we use smart offices and alerts. Secondly, is Karen and I can't stop everything we're doing every time one of these moments happen and sit down and have a big conversation about it. So we use smart office as a way to send alerts to one another and let each other know these are happening, so I don't walk into the meeting and not know about something major going on in our clients' lives. So it's key for those components. Now, we use social media, all right? Our next tranche of supporting and cultivating WOW is we use social media as a way to increase our voice amongst our social network, okay? And I was going to talk to you a whole lot about social media before we submitted, as you know, with our original PAC application submission. But with the implementation of Hearsay, which we are one of the 50, I guess, so I'm going to go ahead and plug it here. Hearsay has dropped our time needed to manage our social media strategy by at least 80-85%. All right? It's a wonderful program. And so, but we have a voice. So if we just blabber on social media, right? We're on Facebook, we see people do this, we're just throwing out whatever. Your audience is going to very quickly tune you out. All right? So our message is legacy planning, multi-generational planning. So that's our focus, and that's what we post on. Yours might be something different, right? And then Hearsay emails us, right, and lets us know about those people on the move, right? And we take the digital and we move it to an analog approach where that person gets a handwritten card. And we confirm in that business journal that they weren't recognized in that, and if they were, we get a copy of that article and we send it out. We send it out. And we get that meeting, and we get that call. Well, as we've pushed our social media effort, one of the things we recognize, especially with Hearsay, is that our amount of eyeballs per article, our amount of eyeballs per week had increased substantially. And we wanted to give our clients an ability to get to know me in a digital format. So this is our landing page. I'm going to play this for you in just a second, which gives our clients, potential clients, an ability to meet me in a digital format. We felt it was very integral to do that. Since 2002, my clients have elected me as their lead advisor because of my integrity, my dedication, and my empathy. What this would mean to you is that I'd always tell you the truth about your situation and help you navigate the important financial decisions in your life. The real benefit comes from knowing that you have an advisor who's dedicated to helping you honor the commitments you've made to yourself and the people you love. My clients share with me that the real impact that's come from our relationship has come not from the answers I have provided them, but the questions that I've asked them. So let me ask you, what do you truly care about? I truly welcome the opportunity of getting to know you, your family, and the people you love. So what do you think people are feeling right now? They see our web presence, they see our landing page, they see the media, right? Am I validating myself in an online format? Have I increased the likelihood that that client believes before they meet me? Because let me share something with you, okay? If you're connecting with clients that are my age or younger, we're going to Google you. You're getting Googled, right? It's a verb, apparently. And folks in their 20s aren't even, it's before date one happens, they're Googling the person they're going on a date with, right? And so it's our belief we have to own that space, we have to own that presence, we have to control, or at least influence, how people feel about me before they walk in the front door. Okay? Kara Smith, my director of client relationships, who's fantastic and brilliant and makes all this just work seamlessly, all right? Google me before interview one. Before interview one. All right, let me talk to you about our client experience events. And I'm not going to get into the granular here because Rob Braun's going to be up here speaking in front of you here in just a short while. And I'm excited. Rob, I'm looking forward to it. But I'm going to talk to you about the mindset of ours, okay? Because I think it's important. So we use these events for 3 very important reasons, okay? One is to deepen our relationships with our clients in a non-business format, okay? And notice I use the word experience events. Not appreciation, absolutely not educational events, experience events, all right? As we go do things that they can't do without us. They're special, they're unique, right? And they want to come and experience that, all right? And it allows us to create an organic format for them to bring significant relationships, loved ones, to this event and introduce us in a very comfortable and a very relaxed atmosphere, right? Maybe sending that direct contact to reach out was just something not comfortable, but we certainly can take in a ball game and a sweep together or enjoy a cooking class. The second reason is that we get to connect our clients. I'm going to share a little story that really created 2 wow moments, and neither one of them I expected. Kara's gotten to know our clients at a very significant level. And through that, she kind of knows what's going on in their lives and who connects. So we had a seated event recently. There was a seating chart required. And one of our clients, Mary Jo, she's going through a tough time. She just lost her spouse. She just lost love of her life about a year ago. Okay? She's still having just a difficult time getting through that. 2 of our clients, EJ and Tommy, these 2 women have literally never met a stranger, not even at birth. And so we sandwiched Mary Jo between these 2 ladies. And as the event went on, it was like watching 3 little schoolgirls. The giggles, the laughter, they're sharing dessert by the end of it. And we get an email from Mary Jo the very next day, to Kara and I. And she says, thank you. Thank you so much for last night. Thank you for including me. I haven't had that much fun in over a year. You see, sometimes these client experience events, right, they're not about meeting that next great prospect, but they're helping your client make a friend. You can't put a price on a friend, folks. You can't. The third thing is that, and I didn't expect this when we started doing these almost 3 years ago. I did not expect this, is that it changes your culture. So we're walking out of that event. It's 9:30 at night. We got to the office early at 7:30, 8 o'clock. We pulled a 14-hour day, and Kara's grinning ear to ear. She's grinning ear to ear. And I, being the curious one, goes, what's going on? What's up? She goes, I've always wanted to work at a place where I get to do nothing but build relationships. Okay? And she goes, I'm just having a great time. And if you read anything, if you want to hire a millennial, right? You read any of the studies, guess what they want to do, folks? Guess what they want to do? They want to build relationships. One-on-one, significant and substantial relationships. You see these folks, we told them that they can make a difference. And it's true, right? It's true. So maybe it's time we give them that opportunity to build that relationship and to make that difference. They light up, right? So we determine that guest list going in. So we start planning our events for next year, this year. My year gets rolling, your year gets rolling. We're not last minute with this stuff, right? So we determine our guest list. Okay, ours is our A-level relationship. We're very segmented in our practice, so it's our A-level clients that get to come. That's it, all right? Or our key center of influences, all right? Key means you introduce us to people. That's about all that means. It's amazing how that works. So, but it's those key people, right? And we work with our wholesalers, and we have a little conversation with them, right? We don't put the platinum list on the event in the beginning, right? Because we're not talking, if you help us out financially, it's with the understanding that we're not going to be talking about your product. We're not going to have logos of your stuff everywhere, right? And we tell them to come. We tell Tim Hayes, true story, Tim Hayes, hey, come to the event. Bring your wife. It's our thank you for all the support that you do for us to make our practice work so seamlessly. And it's our way to build relationships with them, make it significant. And we send our invitations out 2 months in advance, right? And we have those, so during our reviews, we could talk about it, right? And we get that, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful with these events fill. We found for us, about 25 to 30 people is about all that we can handle, right? Because here's one of the things that we do in advance, okay? We talk about location and mingling and follow-up. These are our 3 keys to success, all right? Let's talk about mingling first. So we have that guest list, and we know who's coming in, all right? So Kara knows, I know, and we look at it. And we look at little opportunities like we did with Mary Jo and those 2 ladies to try to connect our clients, right? We know 2 people have hobbies or of interest, and we're making those introductions. But her and I go through, and we go, okay, who are you talking to? Who's Kara talking to? Who's Kara talking to, right? So if you're a guest of somebody else, obviously I'm going to make sure I get my FaceTime, and she is too. But then we divvy that up, and we make sure that we have one-on-one intimate conversation with that client. And if it gets over 25 or 30, the 2 of us simply can't work the room and have anything more than, hey, how are you doing? How's the job? How's the family? And on we go, right? Second, we tell our clients it's exclusive, right? And so exclusive doesn't mean 90 people, right? It's nothing exclusive about that. And lastly, it makes it a lot more affordable, a lot more turnkey, and a lot more simple. Let's talk about location. All right, so this is I'm going to tell you a story about just not getting it right, okay? So we did an event, the cooking class, cooking school. The dean of the school is a good friend of mine. So we have a private cooking experience at the Chef's Academy in Indianapolis. And we do it at 6 o'clock a couple years ago. And guess what? 6 o'clock rolls around, there's 3 people there. Uh-oh. 6:10 rolls around, like a couple more people trick around. And by 6:30, everyone shows up. They're stressed, the traffic was horrible, they're a little grumpy, and they drink a whole bunch of wine, right? So silly me never drove downtown to that location at 6 p.m. on a Thursday to find out the traffic at that particular location because the construction was a nightmare. It's a nightmare. So fast forward a year later, we had great rave reviews from that event, so we did it again. We moved it to 6:30. And everyone showed up on time. They were relaxed. And they're smiling, and they still drank a whole bunch of wine. Let me talk to you about follow-up. Okay? So we try to put these events on in such a way that they're significant and substantial and different, right? And so we haven't had anybody no-show us to an event in over a year, 100% attendance. And because of that, we get all our follow-up done and prepared ahead of time. We get those thank you cards written, we get those little gift or whatever we're going to do ready ahead of time. And we fill them out. Because I'm going to tell you, I'm human, right? I don't know, once in a while I don't have this level of energy, mainly when I'm sleeping. But the next morning, 14-hour day, we're in the office, right? And I grab the pot of coffee, I pour the cream in it, and I chug it, right? I'm punky, I'm tired, right? And I got to get that follow-up done the next day. I may not get to it. I want to make sure at least all I got to do is make a handful of calls to those guests and thank people for coming. So we get that done. We get that done early, and we get it done right. So these are some of our events, right? Cooking class. We did an event at the Children's Museum of Indianapolis, which is world class. And I got to tell you, I got to share this with you. This is just, it's so much, these things are so much fun. If you're not doing these in your practice, I would just really encourage you to consider it. Really encourage you to consider it. Well, I've been up here for about 35 minutes now. And you'll notice that I haven't talked about products or some special strategy that we implement with our clients that, increases revenue. We just take care of them. Show up and we deliver wow. And I'm going to share with you why we do this. What cultivated wow in my life, if you will. November 9th, 2012. I quit as a financial advisor. I quit. Which might beg the question to the audience, how to get on stage? I snuck on. No, I quit. Started being a daddy. You see, Cora Jane Sanders, my little girl, and William Donald Sanders are going to face a reality in their lives that all of your clients will as well. Every one of them. Every one of them. Okay? And I realized something, right? Is that if I left them in the parking lot, I wasn't getting it. I wasn't getting it. See, we are families serving families. We are mothers. We are fathers. We are children. We are brothers and sisters. We are families serving families. You see, my beautiful wife, Lauren, never once in 14 years in the financial service industry has she, when I come home, said to me, "Hey, Kyle, how's that cash value and that index UL policy doing? Are we going to hit that high water mark? Are we going to hit that cap? How's that doing? You know, that term insurance, should we think about converting that this year?" She never, ever has asked that. You know, not once. Not one time. And she never will. Do you know what she says to me when I get home at night? That's what she says. "Hey, you know, there's an open house at Bethel Preschool, and a lot of our friends' kids are having a great time there. Cora's going to preschool next year. Should we go check that out? Hey, when do you want to start thinking about where we're going to send our kids to school? I've heard wonderful things about the international school." See, she talks to me about the dreams and the future and the opportunity of those two beautiful lives that I've been blessed with. That's what she talks to me about. And you know what? So do your clients. And when you show up with rate of return, they disconnect. You see, someday, I hope many, many, many years from now, those two beautiful little people, they're not going to welcome their daddy home again. I'm not coming home. And no matter how well I'm planned, no matter how much life insurance I have in place, Lauren's going to be left to pick up the pieces. And she's going to call you. She's going to call one of you. And here's your moment. Here's your moment. How are you showing up? You going to show up like I do in her life? Like a loved one does? Or are you going to talk about price and product? Because I can assure you she's disconnecting. And the dreams and the hopes of my family rest on how you rise to that occasion. How do you rise to it? So here's the challenge I place to all of you. Because I depend on it. My family depends on it. I promise you, I'm dying first. All right? All right? Is it start showing up with more love. When you get into your office Friday morning, when you get into your office Monday morning, start showing up with more love. Start showing up with more wow. Your family's dependent on it. So is mine. I thank you for your time, and I truly appreciate it.